Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is, remember each of our species have different habits. And I think this will surprise some of you. But I remember back when I was doing rod and reel streamside, and some of the earlier shows that I did were up along Lake Champlain when that fishery was really affected by lamprey eels. And so I wanted to show people that there was a wonderful population of lake trout in Lake Champlain. And I was told by people that were helping me to put the show together up there that lake trout's habits are that they will attack a group of forage fish and wound them, and those fish will go to the bottom, and the lake trout will come back later to feed upon what they've done. And so one of the techniques that I was using at the time, and I didn't know this, I was learning this at the time, was to fishing along the shore to cast out and using a dead smelt and throw it out and let it set on the bottom. And sure enough, after a while, these lake trout would come and they'd pick up these dead smelt, and I could feel the line go sailing out, very similar to when a smallmouth bass hits. It was the same type of strike. But it's important to know the habits of these fish. Northern pike will do the same thing. A lot of times northern pike will attack something and they'll leave it to go back to the bottom, and they'll return later. And I remember telling the story one time on this show about one of my good friends who was an avid muskie fisherman in all our tributaries. And he told me about a day that he came into this pool and there was a muskie out there, and he saw the muskie and the muskie saw him, and I guess he cast out or something, and he remembered the muskie had attacked. Oh, I remember now. He had a bass that he had hooked, and that muskie attacked it, and the bass survived, and Chris took the fish off the hook and put it back in the water. And he came back later to that pool to try to catch the muskie. And he said there was that muskie in the center of the pool. He could see it in the clear water, and it was feeding on that bass that was laying on the bottom. It had returned to eat its kill. And that's something that a lot of these predator fish do. And I think it gives us a better knowledge of the fish we're going after if we know their habits. And I think that's really interesting. So remember that. That lake trout are far more than what I think, ever realized. You know, that they're a vicious, fierce predator, and they can provide a lot of strong battles if you fish them in the right way. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.